I wear my mask on.
Okay, we are now joined by New Mexico State redshirt senior forward Johnny McAllister. Johnny, we'll just get us started with the general thoughts on the game.
You know, I feel like we won it bad. Like, you can tell how the whole season went. We weren't playing that well, but we clicked as a group lately. We're starting to play more team basketball, and we just wanted to come out and try to play a different game, something that we can bring more pressure to and more energy.
Okay, I'll open up for questions. Justin Martinez.
Johnny, Utah Valley made it a pretty close when they're down the stretch. Was that sort of a wake-up call for you guys? Because it seemed like you really responded well to it.
Yeah, I feel like it was a wake-up call. We need to continue to play hard throughout the rest of the game. Like the past 5 minutes in the past couple of games, we started to let the teams come back, but we need to learn how to stop their scoring and continue to run up our score and just continue to play hard and not let them come back.
Jeff Grammer.
Hey, Johnny, not so much about this game specifically, but you're the New Mexico guy, you're the local guy, and this state's gone through an awful lot this year, just now getting back going. High schools are just playing for the first time. Something to be said for the fact that you guys, again, find yourself in a WAC championship game through the season you had and what that means to New Mexico?
For me personally, I feel like we came through so much adversity throughout the whole year. We had to move to Arizona to practice, to play. We couldn't even have no home games. Couldn't even practice in the Pan Am for over 2.5 months or so. And then we can't even play. We got to play in El Paso. I feel like this team, we really took that as a learning lesson that we can't get everything that we want in life. So we decided to take what we got and try to make the best of it. And we always told each other at the beginning of the year, like when we couldn't be able to play in the Pan Am, that we're going to be able to play. And if we want to give up now, we're going to hand GCU the title if we gave up back then. And I just kept on telling them that we can't give up because our games are going to start coming and we're going to make it to the championship.
Okay, Andy Morgan.
Johnny, I know Coach Janz has told you guys a lot about getting back to playing Aggie basketball. During this stretch and certainly the last 2 games here in the WAC tournament, do you guys finally feel like you're back to playing that Aggie basketball, that swagger that you guys typically have this time of year?
I feel like we got more to give. We have a lot more to give on the defensive end. We can pressure the ball more. We got to sprint back on defense more. We're moving the ball pretty well on offense, getting inside, finding open man. We're sharing the ball. We're clicking as a team a lot better now. We're talking more. We're playing Aggie basketball, but it's not the Aggie basketball that we should be playing. We got to give it 10 times more next game.
Nate Ryan.
Johnny, man, you guys are back in the WAC title game, but you guys aren't the #1 seed in this year's tournament. Obviously, you're around the success of the program the last few years. But now you get Grand Canyon, and they were the WAC regular season champs. How bad do the guys in the locker room want Grand Canyon in this last game? How bad do you want the Lopes?
We want it pretty bad. Like before the game, after the GCU game, they came out and they were talking crap to us right off the bat, and we haven't even said anything to them. We're trying to warm up, and they're talking crap to us. So we're looking at it like it's going to be a big rivalry game. It's going to be a hard game. We're going to play aggressive and play hard. We're not going to back down to them.
Okay, back to Justin Martinez, and I'll take one more.
Donnie, it was a really strong showing there for Trey Woodbury down the stretch. Can you kind of just talk about how much of a competitor this guy is?
He's a great player. He finds his shot. He's a smart player. Offensive minded. He attacks well. He was just hitting shots down the stretch. We couldn't defend him. We had bad calls, like bad switches at the end. We didn't get up and try to contest his shot that much. And I feel like that's something that we got to change at the end of the game. And we got to click as a team more, and we got to pick that up. Because we can't have nobody have open shots at the game, because you don't know when the game can change. It can be a minute left in the game. They could be down 15. He hits one shot, the game can change right there. And they can come back and bring it down to like 5 or 2 points. So we got to click as a team and figure out who has a hot hand in their team and step up.
Colin Deaver.
Yeah, Johnny, obviously you're one of the guys who's been here the longest and played in a lot of WAC tournament finals. Just what does it mean to you as a senior to have a chance to get back tomorrow and potentially go to March Madness one more time?
It means a lot to me personally. Growing up, I never thought I would be in this position, always playing a championship or be with the group of guys that I have. And I feel like we all want it bad. We want to put on for our whole town, the whole state, for all our fans and everything. We want to do it for ourselves. So I feel like we just got to continue to play hard and approach this next game with the right mindset.
Okay, great. Thank you, Johnny. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Johnny.
Okay, we are now joined by New Mexico State head men's basketball coach, Chris Janz. Coach, we just get to start with a couple of thoughts on the game.
Again, we came out of the gates great. I told them in the locker room after the game, if we could bottle that up and play with that focus and that energy, we could beat a lot of teams across the country. Love how they started. Certainly, both teams had some foul issues, changed the game a little bit. Had a lot of early fouls both ways. Both teams were probably disappointed they couldn't play their regular lineups, but Kevin Williams hit some big shots at the end of the first half that gave a little more breathing room. And then we reestablished ourselves again, start the second half. And then it was kind of a deja vu with how the game ended. Certainly they're not going to keep, quit fighting and battling. And we were trying to get to the finish line and not want to get extended if we could, but it didn't work out exactly the way we wanted to. But again, we put ourselves in position to do that and, it's survive and advance. And so part of me that hates the last 6-7 minutes because it wasn't really good basketball on our end. But at that point, you're just trying to get to tomorrow.
Okay, I'll open up for questions right now. Justin Martinez.
Coach Donnie Tillman had 10 of your guys' first 12 points. What did you see out of him in the early going there specifically?
He's playing better, right? You see us every game. That's kind of what we envisioned when we got him, even in the summer and the fall. Just that inside scoring guy, in and out guy that can score around the basket. Does a little bit of everything. He can shoot it. He can drive it. He can post up. He's a good offensive rebounder. Can run the court. He even pushes it a little bit. And he hasn't shot the ball from three like we expected or he expected. But he's showing everybody that he can shoot the ball. And, he's making his free throws too. So he got us off to a great start. And he's been very, very focused the last few weeks of the season.
Nate Ryan.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. We just had Johnny on just prior, and he was talking about a little ironic. You guys now meet in Grand Canyon in the title game, who won the WAC regular season title, which you got to win the conference tournament title to go to March Madness. But he was saying that the Grand Canyon guys were talking a little bit of smack to your players prior before the game. I mean, it feels a little bit kind of like almost that New Mexico State, they want the Lokes again, especially after how those early 2 season games played out in this title game. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm not privy to any of that. I didn't hear anything about that. I'll have to talk to Johnny about it. But, when we tip the ball, any chatter, anything that happened prior, any scores that happened earlier in the season won't mean squat for either team. It's going to be a battle. Both teams are going to leave everything on the court, and we know what is at stake. I mean, it's everyone's dream. It's every player's dream. It's every coach's dream. And, we didn't come down here to make the finals. That's never been out of anyone's mouth around our program. Those kids didn't celebrate last night or tonight. They were already talking about staying focused for tomorrow and getting rest and taking care of their bodies. And, I just think it's going to be a heck of a basketball game.
Colin Deaver.
Yeah, Coach, I think I asked you about this after the first time you played Utah Valley earlier this year, just the difference in teams, the team this year and then last year's team in terms of just closing out games and making a play down the stretch, and how you guys hadn't really been doing that this year. But it seems like that's changed over the last 7 or 8 games. And I was just curious, what have you noticed in terms of that regard, and why is it that you guys are, just making plays? I mean, basically every time you guys needed to make a play down the stretch tonight, you were able to do it.
Well, we got more game experience. What have we played? 18 games now? Is that right? 18 games. And we're already at the conference championship. Can't teach experience. I don't care if guys have played here prior. I mean, we got a new group, new lineups, new teammates. So I really believe, it's just game experience and then confidence when you start making those plays that you can make them the next time. This weekend, we didn't really have to make any plays down the stretch. It was more just get to the finish line. But, like I said last night, we also put ourselves in position that we could do that. Then the game wasn't pretty, but, trust me, come later or in the morning or tomorrow, we're not going to care about that. We're going to more care about how well we played up until that point for the most part. We had a rough stretch there in the first half with our foul issues, just got out of rhythm, and then Kalen Williams hit those shots to really help us get to halftime. But I just really believe that they're feeling each other more. They're confident in each other more. They've come together, and it's fun to be a part of it.
Okay, Andy Morgan.
Coach, with everything you just said right there, and we've talked over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks to getting back to playing Aggie basketball. Are you guys playing Aggie basketball right now?
We're playing Aggie basketball. We're playing Aggie basketball. Those kids are, the next 24 hours, all I'm thinking about is our coaches got to be on it. We've got to get the right plan together. We've got to put them in the right spots because they'll execute and they'll play with their hair on fire and some spittle coming out of their mouth, and they're going to get after it and play with that passion that some of our teams have been known for, and they're doing it, and they're going to do it tomorrow. And so we have got to do a really good job in making sure that the scheme is right, the decisions that we make are correct, because they're going to get after it. They're going to get after it, and I'm excited to see it. It feels comfortable out there. It feels familiar, and I'm happy that they're getting to feel it as well. And it's just our confidence is sky high right now.
I'll go to Jeff Grammer, and then we'll take a couple more so we can get you out of here, Coach.
Hey, Chris, hopefully you can hear me a little better tonight than last night.
All good, man.
The Donnie Tillman kind of follow up to what Justin said. He didn't just have 10 of 12 in the first half in that first stretch. I noted he had that in 2 minutes and 52 seconds. And then later in the second half, he scored 9 of 12 points in a 2 minute and 50-second span. So he did his scoring in 2 spurts. And I'm curious if you just let him go when that happens, or if that's all just by chance kind of in the flow of the offense, or is Donnie a guy that you try and feed when he's in one of those kind of moments?
Jeff, you should know me by now. I'm not smart enough to have a game plan to keep feeding someone like that. Like, it's totally in the flow of the game. But our kids recognize it. They recognize it. And our teams that have been their best have always done that. We've always had a lot of depth, but our teams, in my opinion, have always been known for understanding who's got it going, and they get them the ball. They get him the ball. And I think that was more of a product of our guys understanding that he needed the ball when he went on those runs. So I wasn't aware that they were that explosive at runs. I know we got off to a great start. And then, that play he made that was kind of a iffy decision when he drove the ball. It was a block charge, and then they ended up getting the tee. I mean, that was kind of some relief because they get a little tight there. But he made all 4 free throws, and that really helped us as well.
As a quick follow to that, is that some of the comfort you're talking about when you're talking about a team on the court recognizing stuff like that and doing that, the comfort that they may have now that maybe when you guys started WAC play, maybe that wasn't quite there? I mean, the comfort seems to be there now. Absolutely.
I hate to be trite and keep repeating myself, but you just can't teach experience in the court and life. That's just tried and true, and it'll be tried and true decades from now. And they've got more experience with one another. Now they're winning, which fuels the fire a little bit more. They've been extremely focused since we left for Dixie. We stayed up there, and so we were around each other the whole time. I think that was crucial for us to not travel back and forth for a number of different reasons. But just every film session that we've had has been pretty high level. The shoot-arounds, the practices, the focus has been good. And we're certainly preparing for games, but, we're still trying to get better every day. We're still watching film of last night's game today to try to improve. And it's fun to be a part of it when you see them hanging on every word and you see them talking with each other. I turned to one of my staff members during a timeout today and I go, this sounds familiar, and I had to raise my voice to get them to listen to me because they're encouraging one another. They're talking about coverages. All right. It was really good. It's really good when you start hearing that. And that's what's been going on the last few ball games that we played.
Kyle McDonald.
Chris, you already mentioned Donnie hitting those free throws on that kind of block charge call. Utah Valley had a lot of momentum at that point. I mean, how big was it for him to step up and hit all 4 of them?
Yeah, it was a big exhale for me. I didn't do a great job again, just like last night. I'm human, and you start thinking about it. I'm looking at minutes. I'm trying not to extend ourselves. I don't want to get anyone get hurt, knock on wood. So, that some of that is a product of Utah Valley knowing our season's about to be over and throwing the kitchen sink at you. Okay, desperation. That happens. And some of it was me making poor decisions. I mean, I don't know if they're poor decisions or not. You guys can figure all that out. But I'm trying to get to tomorrow. I'm trying not to extend ourselves. I'm looking at minutes. I don't want to get an ankle. So it was a product of many things, but certainly the most was probably Utah Valley just saying, hey, we're gonna fight and scratch and claw to the very end. And Coach Madsen and his staff done a tremendous job in year 2 to win a conference championship. I know they were 2 seed, but they shared the conference championship and they're in the semifinals to go to the finals. And they've done a tremendous job, and we had a lot of respect for them coming into the game.
Okay, last one, Nate Ryan.
Coach, you just talked about you guys are back to playing Aggie basketball. The confidence is there, and you guys are you feel you guys can hang with anybody in the country right now. But Johnny Pryor, go back to what he said. He said he doesn't feel like the guys are scratching the surface. You guys are scratching the surface even. Do you think that you guys are playing to your full potential right now? Or is there anything left more to reach?
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying we're playing Aggie basketball. I didn't say we're at our ceiling. I don't know if we're going to be able to get there. I hope so. I'd love to be practicing next week in Indianapolis and getting better and preparing for an NCAA tournament game, but it's going to be a tall task. So we're playing better. We're playing the type of ball that we're accustomed to. The guys know it. The coaches know it. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to 40 minutes and who plays better.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Good night, Coach.
Appreciate it.